the beginning, they were isolated 23 hours a day until first it was a prison doctor who complained, and we made more demonstrations and to complain about the. So those are the two high security, which I've been working with mostly high security concentrated, because there are two other prisons where you can leave every day, but you have to come back and check in at 19 hours. And one of them, which is the biggest one, they've placed it like you have to cycle for 40 minutes, 45 minutes before you get to the nearest little town or just a little shop. It's like in the middle of, there's some farms around and the farmers there have never seen black and brown people before, and they're like, I'll shoot them, and they're getting guns. If they come on they're like really spooked out. And it's just far away from family, and right now they are hunger striking because these people are rejected asylum seekers, but they are persecuted in Iraq and in Somalia. They're from these countries where there are wars. Again, how come there's nobody in this, let's say, Mali, let's say Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, there's even a reason there. Let's say Namibia. How come there aren't 4 men from Namibia in there, staying year after year? I've got nowhere to, I can't leave. How come they're from Iraq? Where there are bombs all the time? How come they're from Afghanistan, where there's war? How come they're from Somalia? How come the prisons are, and then the whole idea was to make it so uncomfortable they choose to go home. But they haven't chosen to go home because they can't go home. Maybe it's better, and it is definitely better in that prison than to be dead. Or you have nothing to go back to. You came as a minor when you were 15, and then they keep you in there, now you're 31. Some people have been in the system for 11 years. So, and it's not going anywhere. So they're like, they've been hunger striking for 10 days, 12, it was 10 days a few days ago, I think 14 days now. And now they're really sick. So last weekend we organized a bus trip from different areas of Denmark, and we went there to support them. And this is open prison. They can go out, the idea is they can go out. They just need to, every few weeks they can get 2 days if they have family somewhere, but they get no pocket money. And they get and they have to sign in with their fingerprint every day, which is what is a Danish open prison. If you've been doing economic criminality or something, then you can even get a whole long weekend off, where you can get like I don't know what was it called in English, fodlænke. It's when you have a tracker on your leg, so you can serve your time at home. So you would know where these people are and so on. But no, they put them inside. And all of these 4 places are old prisons that they have converted into detention centers. And they then change their name and call it a detention center when it isn't. And I refuse to use that word. It is a prison. Call it what it is. It is a prison. Yeah. Well, I go to them. I wouldn't. Institution itself. Black Lives Matter is not really. It's not something that we don't seek funding. It is a grassroots movement of the people, by the people, for the people. So it's institutions. No. The women's organization, because I'm a woman, have reached out and said, what can we do to help you? And I said, I need places for a meeting. So I can go, I can book a meeting room and when I need it, that kind of thing. But that is the furthest I can say to institute. Otherwise, if these arrangements where the public is invited to debate panel, I am there and I question. Why are you doing it? I question top politicians as if I can be there and I can question them. So for example, last year, just 2 days after our first protest in October, the police went into a park and took all the black immigrant homeless and arrested them, left the white ones and put them in jail. Like if you get a speeding ticket, you don't put people in jail. There are things you can give a fine. This is a fine thing, perhaps, if you really look at it not even. And they got compensation. We fought for it. As soon as they were arrested, we went in and we protested outside. But I think what really shaped it was when there was a group of politicians who were in debate panel. I went there and we in the first row and said, "This is Black Lives Matter Denmark," and the eyes became like teacups. Why here? And I think it's the same here in Spain and all over Europe. We didn't shoot. We don't really shoot black. Well, they do sometimes. You do, and people have died in prison and so on, but not the way Americans do. So it was a shock, and I think, and within 7 days they got compensation, and I believe those politicians were trying to give a reason, like, we don't need Black Lives Matter in Europe. Give them the compensation, shut down, but there's plenty of things to do in Europe. As long as you have your prisons, as long as you have institutionalized racism, as long as the court cases and incarceration, we will be here. We'll be here for a long time, and we'll be yelling and we'll be shouting. And we will unite across Europe, and we will be growing ever stronger. Yeah.